play independently. Oh, we're recording now. It's just an incredible experience that they've had. And then, moving up through the concert and principal orchestras, going to Europe this year. We're excited to go to Italy, and we'll talk more about that. It's just been a phenomenal journey, and it's my pleasure to welcome you and your musicians as well on that journey. Tonight, we want to give you information about our upcoming season, introduce ourselves a little bit, answer your questions. So please use the Q&A feature down at the bottom of your screen. And then throughout the year, as you have questions, please know that we're happy to answer what questions come up for you. Please reach out to us. And we send out a weekly newsletter by email, so make sure that that's not going in your spam. That will update you with weekly events and things coming up, things your musician needs to know. And then our email is at the bottom of that message every week, so you can always contact us. It's our main way. That email is our main way to reach out to you and inform you. And certainly as COVID protocols are changing, and other events and requirements are changing, it's going to be our way to keep you in the loop. We are at NYS also committed to the health and safety of our musicians and our staff. And so we have an ad hoc COVID committee that is continuing to monitor the protocols and requirements by the CDC, by the state of Connecticut, by Norwalk City Hall, as well as local school districts. And so I anticipate there will be many changes throughout the year, and we just want to keep you informed. And then we want to tell you about our program and why you're here tonight, which is certainly probably first and foremost to hear about our music and our music program, and to hear from our music director, Jonathan Yates. So it's my pleasure to introduce Jonathan, and we'll talk more and go through all the other opportunities, volunteer opportunities, and other parts of our program throughout the night. So thank you for joining us. And Jonathan, let me give it over to you. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Am I centered yet, Sarah, or not yet? Oh, I am. Okay, great. Oh, there we go. I think I'm not. Am I? You see me in the center? You know what? It's all fine. Great, fantastic. Hi, everybody. I'm Jonathan Yates. I'm the music director of Norwalk Youth Symphony, and also the conductor of the principal orchestra. And it is my pleasure to be here with you on Zoom yet again. But what is so exciting about this Zoom meeting is it follows our first fully live rehearsal in a very long time yesterday. And what a joyous experience that was. Everybody, all of the staff, all the conductors and the board were so happy to be able to bring us all back together live and to do it in a fashion that was very carefully considered. As Alex mentioned, our ad hoc committee has been meeting regularly to make sure that your students are as safe as possible. And within that context, my God, all the groups sounded really great yesterday. It was a really, really exciting start to what I think is going to be an absolutely remarkable year. As I've often said about Norwalk Youth Symphony, what has always made it feel like home to me and what gives me such a sense of pride in the organization is that we hold two goals simultaneously and don't let go of either. One is for the level of music making to be absolutely, just it's the highest, really exquisite music making. And you hear that in the performance of every single group that we have. But at the same time, to do so in an environment in which your children are really cared for, and I think that's reflected in the warmth of all of our staff, and that has even more salience right now, in these challenging times. So let me tell you about there's so much going on this year. And so let me quickly address some of the exciting offerings that we have this year. First of all, and we're going to discuss this more at length next week as well, I believe, we are going to Italy, which has been postponed up until this next summer. I'm so excited. The tours that the Norwalk Youth Symphony does, and this is open to principal orchestra and concert orchestra students, are, I think, if you talk to any students who've been, absolutely one of the absolute highlights for every student who's been on them, because the friendships that they make that endure, the music that they play, the chance to play in these beautiful venues across Europe, the chance to encounter the cultures of the different countries we visit. It's something that none of them will forget for the rest of their lives. I mean, as I will mention, sometimes I was the pianist of the Chicago Youth Symphony. I still think back on the tour I took to Japan when I was a 17-year-old in the Chicago Youth Symphony, which is a little while ago. So I can't state strongly enough how much I recommend, if your kids are in principal orchestra, if your kids are in concert orchestra, please strongly consider signing up for this tour with us. And it's to Italy, just the height of European culture and of European food. They're going to have the time of their lives. We're also going to Carnegie Hall at the end of this year, which is something that we normally do every 3 years. And that experience too is just that memory too that the kids will have. It's not to be believed. Carnegie Hall merits all the hype that Carnegie Hall gets. When they first get on that stage and hear their sound play and be reflected around that hall, it's an experience unlike any other. So that's also extremely exciting. Furthermore, we have our In Tempo virtual adventure park. So every year we have a collaboration between concert orchestra and the In Tempo organization, just a remarkable organization out of Stanford. Normally it's live. This year it will be virtual, but still all of concert orchestra will participate, and that is going to be an extremely exciting experience for the concert orchestra members. And I'm really looking forward to hear. They usually focus on a different culture every year, and or a different country, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what that is. Furthermore, we developed some programs during the pandemic that we are now continuing live that are really exciting. We are doing small ensembles. I have a background in chamber music as well. I used to play in a piano trio, and this is an opportunity for your students to play in an intimate setting, just, exceptionally beautiful repertoire. It's something I recommend also very highly. And we are continuing to teach music theory as well. Russell, our concert orchestra conductor, and Darwin, who's one of our coaches, are both teaching music theory at 3 different levels. And that too, for students, that is the basis for everything that you do at the instrument. It brings such a level of understanding to what you do, and the ear training that's involved also, is reflected in your playing, in your intonation. It's such a meaningful experience. Also, we will be continuing to do music appreciation, which is something that myself and Russell did last season. We still have to figure out the details for that. That's something for the parents. So the parents develop both a sense of community and, the opportunity to talk with their kids about the music we're doing. That was something that we had a lot of fun with during the pandemic. So as you can hear, we have a lot going on this year. It's a lot of exciting stuff. And I will be on here for the rest of this call in case you have any questions, but welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to making music live for your kids. And for those of you who are new, welcome. This is a very special program at Norwalk Youth Symphony, and we're looking forward to a very special year. So I believe I'm now going to pass it on to John Seal, who's going to talk about our campaign.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, just to follow up on Jonathan's remarks, the music appreciation classes for parents in the past year were just absolutely fantastic. And I think everyone who was on those classes was really just blown away by how much we learned and how much more we appreciated music afterwards, and also by just how much fun it was. So though the information about those classes will be coming out before long, but I really very highly recommend them, and just really hope you will join, because it was an amazing experience. But my topic tonight is the annual campaign. So every year, the Norwalk Youth Symphony runs an annual fundraising campaign. And we have to do this because tuition doesn't cover our costs. It never has. Like many arts organizations, we depend on additional funding to meet the costs of providing our programs. This year, the gap is even slightly larger because of COVID. Our enrollment is reduced. Our enrollment really has to be reduced in order to maintain the safety protocols that we have set, and also to meet the capacity requirements that Norwalk City Hall has set. So that also has an impact on our revenues. So we will be launching the annual campaign in a few weeks, and you'll be receiving emails about that. Now, obviously, we very much hope that you'll be able to participate in the annual campaign and support the Youth Symphony, because it is critical to continue providing our programs. But I would also like to take this opportunity just to ask if you work for a company that provides matching gifts, if you work for a company that has a foundation that supports the arts, if you are aware or in contact or know anyone on a private foundation that supports the arts, I would be very grateful if you would let Sarah or me know. We would love to develop more fundraising contacts with institutions this year. We realize that parents have a lot of burdens. We don't want the annual campaign to rely too heavily on parents. And we do want to diversify our funding into institutions. So any institutions that you are aware of that would support the arts would be extremely helpful. That would be extremely helpful information for us to have. The best way for us to gain access to institutions, we've found, is if there's a connection through a parent. And so please do let us know. We'd be very grateful for that. And again, if you have any questions about the campaign, then please do let me know.
All right. Thanks, John. I didn't mean to interrupt. You good?
Done. I'll pass it back to you, Al.
Thanks. And yeah, I just wanted to stress, John's point that we're at NYS, we're committed to making sure that, all musicians can be a part of our community. And that does take fundraising, that does take contributions. And so, certainly if you can donate a little more, we welcome your contribution. If you need help with tuition, please reach out and let us know. We do have tuition assistance and scholarships. And if you can contribute your time and volunteer, we have plenty of opportunities as well. We certainly welcome your talents and commitment to on our board if you have, if you're so inclined. We have board meetings once a month, and we're always looking for parents who can lend their talents in law, administration, special events, fundraising, and simply pitching in and being available and around and lending a hand. We are launching a new program this year, which is our Parent Ambassador program. And we hope to have a couple of point parents kind of able to disseminate information and reach out and problem solve and be an additional connection between the orchestra and the parents. As well, We will need orchestra assistants from, parents as orchestra assistants in each orchestra, kind of monitoring and reinforcing the needs of the orchestra, reinforcing the COVID protocols, distancing, masks, and also so being a kind of runner if kids don't have their music or need a stand, helping out in the orchestra so we don't have as many kids roaming around. And so we have lots of opportunities to get involved. We are looking forward to having a parent coffee in October, so mark your calendars. We'll have that outside, weather permitting, where parents can just meet each other and again, provide that community and that support, not only for each other, but also I know when I am enjoying the program and enjoying the music, my kids are enjoying it too, and really seeing their efforts reflected in my enthusiasm and involvement. And that's also, true. I will echo those music appreciation courses. I learned so much, and my kids really felt like it was about time that I put in the effort to learn more about music and the history and understand just a new level of the dynamics of music, which was fascinating and amazing. But we'll welcome you to a coffee to get to know each other, music appreciation classes. You get to see parents' faces as well, and again, be a part of that community. And we have additional ways for parents to get involved and volunteer. And so I will hand it over to Kate so that she can talk a little bit more about SNAC and volunteering. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I have a son in concert orchestra who's in his 3rd year. I am in charge of this SNAC, in addition to my colleague on the board, Zishan. So you can reach out to either one of us if you have any questions about SNAC or volunteering through nyssnac@gmail.com. For the SNAC, I've already gotten quite a few responses. Most parents in our group have signed up in groups of 4 for the next several weeks. We are still looking for some volunteers toward the end of November and into December. We request that every family volunteer for SNAC at least once. And if you didn't volunteer and we have a sub need because somebody cancels at the last minute, you're likely to get an email from NYS SNAC requesting that you fill in. We are asking this year that every parent who volunteers is vaccinated and that you wear gloves and a mask at the time that you are handling food and around the kids. Our SNAC, for those of you who've done SNAC in the past, our SNAC is going to be outside around to the right of the building instead of in the back by the kitchens. And we are no longer doing bagels. And I know many of the students are disappointed about that, but given the COVID situation, we have to be a little more careful and have wrapped food. We're offering pretzels and popcorn, and it's very likely that Rick will send out a survey to see what kids like and don't like in the next several weeks to see if we need to make any adjustments. So if you have signed up for SNAC, you should expect an email from me in the next probably later tonight or tomorrow with directions on participating in SNAC. And I'll just ask everybody to confirm that they're still able to do it by Wednesday. And we hope that everybody takes advantage. I love doing SNAC because it's a great opportunity to meet other parents and sort of get the scoop on what's going on in the other orchestras and not just the version of reality from your own child. And so we hope everybody can help out with SNAC and take advantage of the opportunity to meet other parents in Norwalk Youth Symphony, because the community is really wonderful. Thank you.
And I just, again, want to thank everybody who volunteers and helps out with the orchestra. It really, it is many hands make light work, as we saw just yesterday. So many parents pitching in and really helping out. And so I thank you all for helping to make it run smoothly. And now Sarah is going to give us all of the administrative information that probably everybody, and answer all those questions that everybody has. So thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Alex. So we are going to take questions at the end. So anyone who has a question, you can use the Q&A at the bottom of your screen to ask any questions you may have. Okay. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been around Norwalk Youth Symphony for 24 years. At first as a parent with two young violinist girls in the program. So I've been where many of you are. I've had audition results that were disappointing and audition results that were ecstatic for the girls. So please, anytime you want to talk, I'm happy to get, share my experiences with you. But trust me, they're both now in their 30s and successful, and those disappointing years are far behind them, and they love all their time at Norwalk Youth Symphony. So this typically our absent policy is 2 rehearsals per concert period. However, with our COVID issues, what we are going to ask is if your child wakes up on Sunday morning with that fever, those symptoms, they stay home. You can email us. I'll give that email in the newsletter, and ask for your child to be able to watch the rehearsal through Zoom. And that's one of the reasons we do need rehearsal assistance this year, so that if we have a child who would like to Zoom watch the rehearsal virtually, the conductors are generously bringing their personal laptops in, and we will set up an area, but we would need a parent to monitor that. As Alex, I think, mentioned, our newsletters are our way that we communicate with you. I try to keep the newsletters to 1 a week, but sometimes you will get more. So please, if you change your email throughout the year, please, let us know, so you will always be in the loop. Also, talking about emails, if any of you out there have optimum.net, they no longer support their email system. I found this out last week when I was trying to email parents. Anyone that has a Yahoo or an sbcglobal.net, any email I've sent you or any of your friends or colleagues that have an Optimum account, it went to your spam. So everyone should check your spam tonight. Anyway, I'll be transitioning to a Gmail, and everyone will get that this week. This week, I will be working on the tuition invoices. They will be emailed to you. We will collect tuition at the Sunday rehearsal, but you are welcome to mail in a check, or you'll be able to pay by credit card through a link on the tuition invoice. Finally, we also have payment plans. COVID has stretched a lot of people's budgets, so please feel free, just contact us and say, we want to work with your budget. Do you need 3 months or 6 months to pay? Just let us know. I think, and to reiterate what Jonathan said, for the kids and parents in concert and principal orchestra, we are having next Monday, the same time, 7 o'clock, our Italy webinar, where you can ask questions and about the trip, the current status of traveling overseas, what they expect. And so that'll be a very informative meeting, and I hope you attend and express your interest. And I believe that is all I have. Alex, back to you.
Well, I think we'll wait a little bit for some questions and make sure that people have an opportunity to type in their questions in the Q&A down below on the in the bar at the bottom, so that we can make sure that you all are informed and have the information you need. And I'm looking forward to seeing people next week as well and talking about Italy. that's going to be a fantastic trip. I hope we can travel again. It's been years for me. So I'm looking forward to that. Did we have any questions? I don't see anything coming in yet. No.
I don't know. Jonathan, did you mention Adventure Park? You did?
I did, but you might want to actually expand.
Okay. So, Concert and Principal have extra enrichment events this year. So for Prelude, Phil Strings and Phil Winds, we're going to go to the Adventure Park. I think many of the local groups have done that. It's those, what are they? The rope things. And I think you get to, I don't know. It'll be a fun afternoon. We did book it in May. Traditionally, organizations have their retreats in the fall, but we just wanted to make sure that everyone was healthy and able to go. So that's something for the Phil groups plus Prelude to look forward to, is in May to go to the Adventure Park. Oh, we have a question about snack. No, we provide all this. Norwalk Youth Symphony provides all the snack. You just show up with your mask and your glove. No, actually, we provide the gloves too. So just show up with your gloves on, your mask the day that you've signed up, and everything will be at City Hall for you.
Yeah, and really just to kind of parse out exactly what snack is and why we need volunteers is, there are some tables that we need to set up. There's some carts of food that we need to take out. And then we just need to make sure that kids should be bringing their own water bottles. So we're not doing any beverages this year. And please remind your kids to bring their water bottles with them. But then we're also just making sure that, there's enough stuff out, and then we pack it all up and bring it back in into the City Hall, into the building at the end. So that's essentially the work of snack. And then also people may have some questions coming up for our fall concert. We are going to have a concert November 21st, and that's a Sunday, and we're looking forward to everybody being able to come together. We are monitoring that closely, so we will have, as City Hall may change their attendance policies with how many people we can have in the audience, we are figuring out kind of how that concert is going to look. So we will have more information about that as well, whether we're going to be at 50% capacity or capped at 200. We're not making that decision yet as we wait for more information from City Hall.
We have some questions in the Q&A, and I believe they all seem to be for Jonathan. Well, quite a few.
Oh, all right. Let me turn my video back on. One moment. Sorry, for some reason this box is not adequately large. Oh, there it is. Okay. Principal orchestra students, will NYS continue to offer the opportunity to have principal orchestra students volunteer to teach elementary school students? Actually, Sarah, I think that one might be.
I think that one's mine.
Yeah.
So last year, because of COVID and all the virtual learning, the Ridgefield Public School System asked our students to mentor their students. And we had it was quite successful. I have not reached out yet to Ridgefield, but we're also trying to work with Norwalk. We have not set or scheduled anything yet, but we do hope to offer some sort of volunteer opportunity for principal members.
Okay. So there are two questions about the small ensembles, both of which are very relevant for what we're talking about. Yeah, so both for Chris and Tatiana, they want to know when we're going to have the small ensembles set. We're working on it as we speak. I think the aspiration is hopefully by the end of this week. Sarah, would you say that's accurate? Or maybe the beginning of next week?
Yeah, that's our goal.
Yeah. So should we let's say I think that the principal orchestra ones and maybe even the concert ones will be ready. You know what? Let's just say the beginning of next week. So the
Yeah, we have decided the theory classes and the small ensembles will start the week of September, what is that, the 26th. Originally, everyone was told it was going to start the week of September 19th, but things are happening. So it will now be the week of September 26th, but everyone will still have, anyone in theory is 10 lessons per semester, and the same with the chamber music. There'll be 10 rehearsals, and then we hope to have a nice recital in January. Then we'll start up again in February with a nice recital in May. And the same with the theory classes. There'll be a second semester.
and that's really relevant too, is that we're not starting next week. Amar Polly has a question that I think is more for you, Sarah.
Oh, well, as Alex said, the ticket situation at Norwalk City Hall, Concert Hall, there's 1,000 seats, and we are still working with them on how many, it is changing, how many people they're going to allow at a concert. Everyone will have a minimum of 4 tickets, but we do hope that we are able to provide more tickets per family.
And Vidya's question, I know it's around 50. Sarah, do you remember the exact number of students in principal?
It's 50,
yeah.
give or take. I don't know. Does everybody see the questions? So someone had asked how many kids are in principal this year.
Yeah.
And I also want to tell everyone who's that's been with Norwalk Youth Symphony for quite a while, I'm sure you realize principal and concert are typically at 70 students. But we consciously made a decision to keep our orchestras at a level where they could come to City Hall and rehearse safely and in a rehearsal room. When we returned in May of last year, we had to break principal and concert up into like just the violins and then just the, the low strings. But now with us making this decision to keep the groups at around 50, the kids are allowed to come to rehearsal, from the violins to the percussionist, and we will also be able to hold the concert safely on the stage at City Hall in November.
And that was really important to us to be able to do that, and to be thinking of safety first and foremost.
And as well, I want to echo that decision was made informed by a number of committees and groups that we belong to nationwide on youth orchestras, and it was an informed decision that we deliberated and really committed to. So I thank everybody for their patience and cooperation with these protocols and with the commitment of keeping our community safe, because we know we have some kids who can't be vaccinated because of age or health or so many other reasons, and that we do have some staff and family also who are in the same boat. And so we want to protect our whole community and continue distancing and with masks so that everyone can stay healthy and have a great carefree time when we get together and celebrate that music and listen at a concert.
We have a question about the in-tempo concert. I did not realize I had left on the schedule the dates of the concert. So in-tempo, I believe we've been working with in-tempo for several years. I can't think right now the year that we started our collaboration, but it's typically a live concert at City Hall. It sells out. There are 1,000 people there. It's a great concert. They've had accordions, they've had steel drums, they've had marimbas. I mean, as Jonathan said, each year they choose a different country, a different culture to highlight. So that's why we call it oh, someone says, oh, you don't see the questions. Can you please repeat the question before you answer? Oh, sorry about that. So this question was, on the schedule, there are certain concerts marked as to in-tempo. Can you explain that? So as I said, it's typically a live concert. It sells out. It's very dynamic. They have guest artists and their own in-tempo students in the concert orchestra performing. Because of COVID, it is going to be virtual this year, so there will be no rehearsals. What will happen is the members of concert orchestra and perhaps even principal will have the opportunity to record a click track and send it in, and In-Tempo will do a video compilation of all the performing parts, and then we'll release a video. But it's a really great organization. I encourage everyone to go visit their website, intempo.org. But Norwalk Youth Symphony has been their symphonic partnership since their inception.
It's really a phenomenal program, and you're right, Sarah. Dynamic is the word. It is just such a lively and celebration of music coming together. It's really wonderful. I look forward to the times where we can do that again.
There are more questions.
Yeah.
This
Alex,
next
would you
question-
like to answer the COVID question? Or John?
We will send out certainly more information about what we're requiring for kids as they turn 12. We are requiring for all of kids who are eligible to have the vaccine. We are requesting either a vaccine, proof of vaccine, or the testing, PCR testing prior to rehearsals. So when a child turns 12, while they are deciding or scheduling their vaccine, whatever your choice, once they are 12 and eligible, they should be bringing in a PCR test until they're fully vaccinated. I hope that answers the question.
And then we have,
Jonathan, there's a question about the concerto competition.
I saw that. Yeah, I think it's been held. So for the record, we always hold the competition either in December or January. Isn't that correct, Sarah?
Yes.
Yes. So it hasn't been moved up. The actual concerto winner plays it's differed whether the winner plays on the winter concert or the spring concert. Although now for a long time we've been doing it on the winter concert, and most likely we'll continue with that. The question was about what time the NYS concerto competition is happening. That is only for principal orchestra. There's also this rather philosophical question that I like. This, what goals should participants and parents be making for the first year at NYS? Yeah, first of all, just we want the kids to have a really good time. You know, that's the most important goal, honestly. Like they should be enjoying themselves. They should come back from orchestra with a big smile on their face. If they don't, we want to know why. That said, of course, you know, they should also be practicing hard during the weeks on their repertoire. And then, you know, the ideal is by the end of the year, you know, that they have more of a sense of what it means to play in an orchestra from a musical perspective, what it means to be a good orchestral player, and that they've started to build friendships that are going to last for a very long time. So yeah, the auditions are done, the painful part is over, and so now we just want them to, particularly after how challenging, you know, the last year and a half has been, we really just want them to have a really good time and work hard.
There's a couple of questions about the competition. The competition is only open to members of principal orchestra. And there was another question about it.
Yeah.
What is we have an annual concerto competition where they perform one movement of, you know, a concerto of their choosing. They do have to have it approved by Jonathan, and that is because the orchestral part has to be playable by the kids in principal orchestra, of course. So, so that's what our concerto competition is, and you'll hear the performance at all our March concerts, and it's really a highlight of the year.
There's some questions in the chat as well. We have a question about, is it possible to register for the small ensembles during the year? My daughter signed up for large ensemble in music theory, but we want to see if she can manage to attend ensemble additionally later. Sarah, do you want to respond to that?
Well, we will. So we do have our small ensemble and our theory classes are by, what's that word? Semester. So there is a possibility, but no guarantees that there will be an opening when we start up again in February. So there's a possibility. But I also have to say, for everyone that has signed up for a small ensemble, occasionally we just can't place everyone, but we do try. And then sometimes, so our goal is to place everyone, but sometimes the numbers do not work.
And that has only to do with just, sometimes having, 5 bassoons and a trumpet that don't make a small ensemble together. That's the only reason we ever have in which we can't place kids. It's just that, as Sarah was saying, the numbers just don't match up. But we try really hard, and we're in the middle of it right now, trying to make sure that every student gets matched up. There's a question from Sarah, and hi again. If we need to reach our conductor directly, what is the best way to reach him or her instead of going through Sarah? The answer is you go through Sarah. I mean, would you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
And I can tell you right now, if when a parent or a child emails me, I immediately contact the conductor. There's just many reasons we don't give out the emails of our conductors. And of course, our conductors are also very open. So I would recommend your child talk to them during break. Now I got to be honest, Russell and Jonathan have trains to catch right after rehearsal. So that's not a good opportunity time to speak to them, but maybe before or at break, if they would like to talk to them in person, they're all 5 of our conductors are very approachable.
We really are, honest to goodness. And we want to make sure that the experience is going well for everyone. So that we really, if anybody has any questions, just tell them to come up and approach us.
And Jonathan, you have a Google Classroom. Do you want to
do.
talk about that as far as
I think, and in fact, all the orchestras do. Thank you, Alex. So yeah, if there are any specific questions, they can also post them to the classroom. Absolutely. Although, I would say if it's a question that's at all personal in nature, best thing is to either go directly to Sarah or to come see me or any of the other conductors at break. Tatiana has a really good question about, are there any social activities planned for older orchestras to help build their communities? Something could hopefully be planned for outdoor interactions. Sarah was talking about the adventure park. Sarah, anything else on the docket currently?
Well, and actually, I'm going to interject, Sarah, as well, just to say, one of the reasons we want to sort of really strengthen that parent ambassador program is so that we can have some community building activities and have some parents, finding out schedules and emailing, texting, setting up some ways to communicate and get some activities going. So that's one way, or one thing that we are hoping to build.
Anything you wanted to add, Sarah, about?
And also, Tatiana, as you know, your son was on the youth committee, and the youth committee, they're very active. So I would encourage anyone who has a child who wants to be involved to join the youth committee. And that's the time where they can bring these ideas to there's always at least one parent advisor, if not 2, on that committee. And then it's open to any student in the orchestras that would like to serve on it. They, they can bring issues of snack. It's a good time to bring issues of snack, rehearsal. we adults improve their experience, but it's also a time where they can suggest, we try to have a bowling now outing. We have tried playing some things in the past. They're always an
the
obstacle.
other thing they did was a couple years ago, right? They did it wasn't Secret Santa, it was Secret Snow Person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was fun.
And they really got to know
Secret
the
Snowflake.
person. I mean, they had little bios on the people that on the musician you were buying a gift for, and it was really a great way to get to know a fellow musician that you wouldn't have struck up conversation with necessarily, because they're not your stand partner and they're not in your section or whatever. So that's another great way that they try to just on a one-on-one basis get to know each other.
That was actually really cute, that Secret Snowflake. I noticed someone asked about when the youth committee meets. So when we were virtual last year, that we had Zoom meetings on Sunday mornings. I don't remember what time. But typically during in-person rehearsals, they meet what time? Like 12:30 to 1:15. But right now we're looking, like I said, it's there's always a parent advisor too. We're actually also looking for parent advisors for the youth committee. So if anyone on here tonight would like to become more involved in NYS and have a repertoire, enjoy working with young kids, we would love to be part, have you help with that. I mean, we do have some people in mind, but hopefully it starts in October, no later than October. But yes, they will meet before rehearsal. And if they're in prelude, we pull them out for the meeting.
There's another question in the chat says that we are new to this program, not sure the process for being part of a small ensemble. So yes, Sarah, I don't know if you want to speak to that. It's actually, so this part, you just check a box on the application, but yeah, Sarah, is there anything you want to?
I mean, if your child is really new to music, a small ensemble is a trio or a quartet, or sometimes it can be a quintet. And they rehearse each week. And what's different about, well, Jonathan can explain it better, but the biggest difference is you're responsible for your part. If you're in a small ensemble, you're the only first violinist. So it's a more intimate, wouldn't you say, Jonathan? It's a more intimate experience.
I mean, it's a little dangerous for me to hype it so much when we're in the middle of making the groups, but and you can always write, Sarah, by the way, and say that I think at the very least you can certainly say, if this meeting suddenly turns you on to the possible joys of chamber music, send Sarah an email. It's a really vital part of music education, playing in a string quartet, playing in a trio, a piano trio, a wind quintet, anything, or mixed ensemble. As Sarah was saying, you have the responsibility of your individual line, but also you learn to what it really means to listen. Like that, I think, is maybe the most vital part of playing chamber music, because you learn how how your part intertwines with the other parts, and the repertoire is very special. So yeah, and if it doesn't work for this semester, then yes, absolutely write, say that you're interested for next semester, let us know. If it doesn't work for this year, there's a box when you apply saying that you have interest in being placed in a small ensemble. And I'm very much an advocate for the program. You're welcome. Any other questions?
And I do want to remind everyone that next Monday at 7 p.m. will be our webinar on the Italy tour.
And again, I want to remind everyone, this isn't your only time to ask questions. So, if you think of something later, by all means, you know how to contact us. We are here for you to answer your questions and to make sure that, you're involved and not wandering around wondering all the time. You're welcome to ask those questions. And I want to echo the piece about chamber music, Jonathan. I was thinking as you were saying, you know, just the transformation of your part contributing to a group is instantaneous, a little more instant than with the orchestra, and it's intimate. It's, you know, right there. You hear, you know, you practice your part separately and then bring it together with 2 or 3 other people, and all of a sudden it's a totally different sound. It's just really energizing, and so it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience to listen to anyway. I'm not a musician, so I don't know what it's like to play it, but it's fascinating to watch it and hear it. So it's really wonderful. And I just invite everybody to enjoy the music this season, enjoy our community and the experience, and please feel free to get involved. All right, thank you for joining us. I look forward to people joining us next week for our conversation about Italy, and there will be, again, many updates along the way for this season. Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night.